So what are some issues, in your view, with ATC reform that you think are issues that are fairly easily agreeable, that we can probably find consensus around?
Well, first of all, let me begin by thanking Captain Lee Moog for his time in the left seat at ALPA and for the extraordinary job that I think he has done, keeping us all focused that we're all in this together. In his remarks today, he talked about fragmenting and the threat that represents to our future. And Lee, just want to thank you on behalf of the entire business aviation community for your efforts over the past several years to keep our industry together and keep us focused on kind of a big picture and help us understand that the important role aviation plays both in our nation's transportation system and in our nation's economy. And as we get ready for the FAA reauthorization bill, I think that's probably a good place to start. Recognizing that aviation is kind of a fundamental American industry, that our infrastructure of airports critically important to the economic development. We're important to our manufacturing base. This is an important industry that has an opportunity to be a technology leader and help our manufacturing base. So when we look forward on where we want to go from here, I think that a lot of work has already been laid out as part of the Next Gen conversation. The idea behind Next Gen, of course, is we start with what is today the largest and the safest and the most efficient and most complex and the most diverse air transportation system in the world. And what we want to do is make sure we evolve this system, effectively transforming it from ground-based to satellite-based, from analog to digital, and make sure that what we are doing helps us improve safety by improving our situational awareness, reduce our environmental footprint, increase the throughput of the system, and effectively keep the United States the world leader in all aspects of aviation. Now, over the past several years, a heightened focus has been placed on Next Gen. As you know, the community itself came together with Task Force 5, and more recently has come together under the Next Gen Advisory Council. And that group has effectively looked at what our nation's long-term plan is and reduced that down into more near-term solutions. Since that has gone into effect and we've had good industry dialogue with the FAA, we've had the involvement of Congress, and I think we are beginning to see some seeds of progress. We've put out the ground stations for the ADS-B. ERAM is nearing completion, and the MITRE report that was just done, and I had an opportunity to get a briefing on the last couple weeks, seems to suggest that while we're a long way from where we want to be, and the progress is not nearly as fast as we want it to be, it is progress. And I think because of the conversations that we've had and the community support and the interactivity that we've had between the FAA and the industry groups, we're beginning to see emerging a clear path forward. Now, that does not mean there are not significant challenges, and I think the funding issue has been touched on. We need to find ways to make sure that we can invest in the future. We need to find ways to take unnecessary costs out of the system. And we need to work together to make sure that all of this is done as efficiently and effectively as possible. We do have a major change that's taking place in our air system today with the introduction of the remotely piloted aircraft. And as we move forward with commercial launches, clearly there are changes to what our air transportation system has been, and those changes will clearly challenge us on how we certify, we integrate, we fund the changes to keep the U.S. the world leader in all aspects of aviation. But I think fundamental to that is a good working dialogue that recognizes that we're all part of an ecosystem. That in order for aviation to succeed in the United States, we need to move all aviation forward. Commercial pilots are more and more coming through the general aviation ranks. Our nation system of airports is really a national system, and certainly our air traffic control system needs to be the best in the world. And so I think we have a dialogue that is important for facilitating that. From a business aviation standpoint, we want and need a system that is robust. We believe that fundamental to the future of business aviation in the United States is our ability to access airports and airspace, to do it in a timely and a predictable way and do it affordably. So as we move into the FAA reauthorization debate, we will be carefully looking at access issues, predictability issues, and affordability issues. And we think we have an opportunity to take where we are today, the best in the world, and ensure that we remain the best in the world for as far as the eye can see.
Great. Thank you.